Naruto is a modern manga turned anime that has been at the top in global sales for many years. It stars an underdog main character named Naruto that was raised with no parents that is on his journey to be a great ninja. Let's deconstruct it. Naruto is a series based off of a one-shot manga by Kishimoto Masashi in the August of 1997's issue of Akamaru Jump. Naruto was serialized in Weekly Shonen Jump magazine from 1999 to 2014. It was then made into anime. Naruto premiered across Japan on network stations starting October 3, 2002. The first series lasted 220 episodes while its sequel has 498 episodes so far and has been on air since 2007. The show stars a relatable protagonist named Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto grew up without his parents because they both sacrificed themselves to save the village from the nine-tailed fox. They ended up sealing the nine-tailed beast in him, and in return he was an outcast in the village growing up. Either people didn't realize he was the reason the village was saved, or they didn't care. All they knew was he had the beast in him that terrorized the village years ago. His father was even the Hokage, or the leader of the village, but because of this uprising he has a very humble personality. He has always been looked at as the dark horse, or the underdog. He always wanted to prove himself, believing that hard work can beat talent, and he proved hard work can beat talent. In fact, he was always challenged by people with more natural talent than him, but he always worked the hardest. He didn't have a Kekkei Genkai. He didn't even know how to use his nine-tailed fox abilities until his teen years, so he mainly relied on a hidden jutsu made by the second Hokage called Shadow Clone Jutsu. But it's not just that, it's the fact he learned how to use it in a very beautiful and unique way that fits his wacky personality, whether if it's to confuse people or use them as a way to fit his battle strategy.
Shadow Clone Jutsu!
But his rival, Sasuke, might have had an even worse upbringing than him. Watching his whole family and clan be killed by his older brother had Sasuke growing up with revenge on his mind at all times. Every time he trained he thought of his big brother. But in school Sasuke was a genius, and the girls loved him, but he never really cared about them. He just wanted to get strong enough to kill his brother. You can also say Sasuke was born to be a ninja, being born in a clan full of some of the strongest ninja ever. The Uchiha clan is known for their amazing blood inheritance in the eyes called Sharingan. Once you get the Sharingan, it can even evolve into the Mangekyo Sharingan, which can give you even more abilities like putting an eternal fire on your enemies called Amaterasu. But the way Sasuke is portrayed reminds me a lot of Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. They both grew up without parents, with both their clans or race being killed off by someone, and they both wanted revenge against that someone. They also even have the same color clothes and hair. Even Naruto has the same color clothes as Goku from Dragon Ball Z, but other than just clothes colors, the two shows share the same ideas, like Goku and Naruto not having parents, being different than everyone for each its own reasons. And Kishimoto, the author of Naruto, even stated that Naruto was inspired by Dragon Ball Z. But I personally think Naruto doesn't use its female characters to its full extent. Like many other powerhouse anime that sell well in the West, Sakura, the third member to Naruto's team, was and still is hated by a lot of viewers. She's just annoying and rarely ever helps with anything. She's mostly been obsessed over Sasuke throughout most of the series, and even eventually has a kid with him, even after he tried to kill her. And after Sakura, the female characters rarely do anything. The most impact a female character has done was give a dying Gaara a second life, and that was Granny Chiyo. She had to sacrifice her life to give it to him. She most likely did it because her grandson was a terrorist, and she taught him all the skills he used to terrorize people. But I can say that many of the characters in that show have a very thought out background, which is astonishing. You almost know how every character got where they are in modern times. That proved the show was more about character development than plot growth. Almost anyone can relate to a character from that show, whether if it's Rock Lee and him not being good at anything except for basic combat, or if it's Itachi who had to do bad things for a greater good, but in actuality is a great person who just cared a lot about his village more than anything. He personally is my favorite because of how complex his backstory is. I even liked him before it was revealed that he was a good guy, and even when I saw that, it made me like him even more. Itachi's backstory just seemed so thought out to me, and I was very young, so of course I loved it. The thing I love the most about Naruto is also that the side characters are almost all competent in their own rights. The characters can defeat their enemies based off a combination of strength, wit, abilities, and speed. It's not just based on strength or power level like it is in Dragon Ball Z. They all go hand in hand to decide how great of a ninja you are. Like, yeah, you may have the most abilities, but someone with great speed and strength could possibly beat you before you get to even use those abilities. And that brings me to my next point, Shikamaru, the boy genius. He was known for his wit and was the first Chunin in his generation. He even decided to quit his match against Tamara in the Chunin exams because she had him beat. I loved how every time he got into a fight he had a full strategy, ready for his battle against Hidan and the Sound 4. I was amazed at how much was thought out, and the first time I saw both of those fights, I thought it was over for him. But instead he ended up being the victor, and even besting the person that killed his mentor. I know I wasn't the only one that thought it was badass when Shikamaru pulled out Asuma's lighter and blew up Hidan.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
But sadly, nearly half the episodes were filler and didn't really help much but show a little character development here and there. I skipped over most of the filler episodes in part 2 because it just became annoying to me. I wanted to see something that was about the plot, not just meaningless stuff. Like, yes, I know filler was made so the manga could catch up to the anime, so there can't be any main character deaths or changes to the plot, which made it extremely boring to me. But I can say that the filler may have been worth it because for what we missed in episodes revolving around the plot, we made up for it in giving us beautiful fights, like the Rock Lee and Kimimaro fight. I also love the fact Rock Lee was doing a fighting style never before shown on Naruto. The Drunken Monkey, or referred to in the dub as the Loopy Fist. And my last point is that anything can happen in the show. Everything is unpredictable. Who would have guessed that Itachi was actually a good person? Or that Guard was going to actually die? Because I couldn't. All in all though, I love the series, and at one point it was my favorite. I'll really be looking forward to the Boruto series to see where the next generation of ninja will be going, and with that, bye. If you like my videos and you'd like to support me even further, then donate on my Patreon. Any amount of money helps. Thank you.